All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, as you can see on the screen here, we're going to be checking out some Kalgara action. Okay, pretty cool new leader coming out in OP, or that is out now in OP-08 for us over here in the West. And it's a pretty aggressive leader. We're going to check that out. It's a yellow deck, and if you like aggression and you like the color yellow in this game, you're at the right place, right? You're at the right place. But I don't want to sell it too short either. I'm not saying it's just an all-in aggro deck or something super blitzy like red with rush or anything. It does have some extra layers to it, right? There is it is more than just one-dimensional. Okay, and we'll talk about that in today's video. Okay, now with that in mind, let me give you guys a quick layout of what we're going to be getting into today. First things first, we're going to head over to the lab and we're going to check out a game of Purple Black Luffy, OP-09, Purple Black Luffy versus Kuro. Okay, that should be a little bit of fun, right? We'll have a little bit of fun there. Try to break down that game and analyze it and see what's going on. From there, we will head over to Egman Events site. He has put up the most recent results from the very first OP-08 tournament, I believe. And we're going to check out a Kalgara list and kind of talk about it. My list is not exactly the same, but they're very, very similar. I don't want to say the deck builds itself, because of course, even if it does, there's a little bit of wiggle room to play with. But a lot of the cards are going to be very similar because it is part of the theme of what Kalgara does as a leader. Pause and read the screen if you need to know what he does. Okay, so we'll head over to Egman Events, like I said, check that out. I'll have that linked in the comment section below, of course. And then from there, we're going to hop over to the sim, and we're going to do 5 games on the sim of me playing this leader. All right? And then we'll finish up with the deck list, and we'll talk about it. I'll give you guys my final thoughts, and we'll wrap it up in that way. Okay, so pretty chill video. Nothing too crazy in today's video. Pretty straightforward. We're just going to be going over Kalgara, and yeah. All right, you know what you're getting into, guys. Let's go ahead and dive straight into this. First things first, as usual, we have to start off with a game on the lab, okay? What is this portion of my video called the lab? If you're a new player, what I do at the beginning of most of my videos is I review community submitted games. This is not me playing. Notice how everything's, blocked out like I normally would have it for my own videos, where you can't see the people's names, you can't see anything, any of the chat. These are community submitted videos. If you are interested in me reviewing your video, it's completely free. All you have to do is record your game, upload it to YouTube, and then post the link over in the Discord, the VV Theory Discord, under the Review My Games channel. Okay? And then as soon as I see it, I put a thumbs up by it. Whoops, where's my hand? There it is. I'll put a thumbs up by it, and I'll throw it in line. Okay? Then you just got to wait your turn in line. It's that simple. Okay? And if you have any other questions, by all means, just say something in the comment section below. All right, now let's go ahead and dive into this, guys. Let's head straight into it. This is probably going to be a pretty interesting game here of Purple Black Luffy versus Kuro. Have not seen Kuro in a while, and I may or may not mess around with him soon because that's not a leader I ever gave any time of day to, guys. I never really invested into Kuro, even though I did hype him up for a little while. I said, this is kind of like a very strong sleeper aggro deck because of how it stands up and all that good stuff. A local player. Shout out to Adam. A local player did sneak some wins on me with this leader here. Really good stuff. Okay, now let's actually dive into this. Okay, the volume is off. Speed is on 2x. And the quality's up. Let's do it. Let's do this. Okay, so can y'all see it good? Yeah, okay. So first things first, let's go ahead and take a look at this hand. We've got a very strong hand here for the late game. And we only really need one way to ramp to kind of, how do I say this, to push us into that area, right? To get us into the late game very smoothly and a little quicker than our opponent. And it's that card we have in our hand right there, the 3-cost Zoro. That 3-cost Zoro, it's a 3-cost 5,000 power character, no counter. But it has an on-play to return 2 Dawn cards. And then you return 2 Dawn cards. So you return 2 Dawn cards to your Dawn deck. And then you return 2 Dawn cards to the field. Okay, you return 1 Dawn card to the field, but then your leader effect is then triggered, and you add 2 more Dawn cards to the field. So it does ramp you a Dawn, and 2 of which will be active after the leader effect and the character go through. Okay, so let's see what happens here. It looks like the Kuro is going to go first, which is, I think that's probably what they wanted to do anyway. And let me see. I will say this, they did choose to go first, guys. I know y'all can't see the text or the chat. but it says that the Kuro player chose to go first. So they have this the exact way they want it, but at the same time, that's not the worst thing in the world for us playing Purple Black Luffy, because we can ramp and stuff like that. But I will say this too, one more thing I will say is, I think, even though it might seem like, oh yeah, well, we want to go second anyway, right? Because look at the even number, look at the even cost Gecko Moria in our hand and Douglas Bullet. Yes and no, right? Because what I was saying, we do ramp. So if we get to go first, we can go turn 1 pass, unless we have a searcher, turn 2 Zoro, and now we're up to 4 Dawn for the turn. You see what I'm saying? So even though we did not get to go first, it's not the end of the world, and we still have a solid, curve straight to Gecko Moria, but I think it is better with Purple Black Luffy to go first, and to put a little bit of pressure on our opponent, so we can maybe keep them off of our life. Okay, so here we go. That was a big explanation for that, but if you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, please put them in the comment section below. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to say too, guys. I'll have everything linked down there as well. I'll have everything linked in the comment section, or excuse me, in the general description, and any deck lists or stuff like that, I'll have links in the comment section below. All right, now, sorry guys, I'm all over the place today, sorry. Okay, so we did take that first hit. We don't have any 2K counters in hand, so we kind of had to take that 6 there. They play out a Nami. We do the ramp I was just talking about with Zoro, and since we did it on the even curve here, we're going to be able to swing in for 7 and leave a Dawn active. We are now on a 5 Dawn turn, right? Or excuse me, next turn we will be on a 7 Dawn turn now that we ramped up to 5. Okay, so the Kuro's going to swing for 5. We really need a counter out of this. Yeah, I do agree with that there. Okay, and they play out the carrot. They're going to lock down our Zoro. Less than ideal, but when they did not swing into our Zoro, that probably should have been a big tell that they're going to lock it down or KO it or something along those lines. But not a big deal. We should have ways to deal with this board anyway. Okay, now, Sanji here is worded. There's a new wording for some of the purple Straw Hat cards for OP-09. Notice what it says. On play, you may return 1 or more of your Dawn cards from play to your Dawn deck. It's worded in that way so that you can return 2 Dawn cards and activate your leader's effect. So that will make this Sanji into basically a 6-cost character. Okay, so watch how this goes here. It looks like that's what they're going to play for the turn. And I do think we need to go at this carrot here. And by the way, the carrot... Okay, hang on. So we played out the Luffy Taro there, cheating out the new Zoro we got. So that's very interesting. One thing, I do want to go back real quick, guys. Notice what Zoro does, or excuse me, what Sanji does, because I think that would have been a slightly better play. The other play was good as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. But playing out the Sanji would allow us to attack into his board. Because notice what he does. If you do the on-play effect and return 2 Dawn to activate the leader to get 1 Dawn active, you may return 1 or more Dawn cards from play to your Dawn deck. This character gains Rush for this turn, then rest up to one of your opponent's cost 6 or lower characters. So that would allow us to tap down the carrot and start putting pressure on the carrot directly. And remember, guys, we are on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Dawn turn. Okay, so we will, activate this for 7, return 2 with the effect, right? With the character's effect, and then bring the 2 back with the leader, and we can swing 8 straight into their carrot. We would rest the carrot with the effect, right? And we can swing 8 directly into the carrot. Now, they might defend out, but that will cost them 2 cards from their hand, and they only have 6 cards currently. And we have a 7k body, a 5k body, and we could still swing 5 at their face afterwards, or we could split the attack up. We could swing 6 into the carrot, and then swing 7 into the carrot. You could do it in a few different ways. But either way, not the end of the world, that's for sure. This is definitely not like a horrible situation. And I do also like the other play because I think it sets up for later into the game. Okay, so let's see what they do instead. They choose to play out the 7-cost Luffy Taro. This is from ST17, or excuse me, ST18. Cheating out the Zoro, and then getting some Dawn back, doing some Dawn tricks there. We're still on 7 Dawn. Even though we went back 1. Let me see how that worked, actually. Hang on one second. I do want to see how that interaction worked, guys. I'm sorry. Y'all give me just a moment here. So we had 7 Dawn. We're going to return 1 Dawn, play out the Zoro, return 2 Dawn, and then, I was going to say we should only be at 6 Dawn, but the Zoro also ramps Dawn. So that put us from 7 down to 4, up to 7. Okay, that was a very wild interaction there, but hey, it works out perfectly. That's how the deck was designed. Okay, like that's how the actual, designers, the developers of the game made it. Okay, and now we can swing 7 at face, and it looks like that's what they're going to do here because we have no other target. This should go through. I was going to say I wouldn't imagine them blocking out 7 this early when they only have 6 cards in hand. But now they have 8 cards because they took the life and they draw for the turn. And they have an Arlong in their trash. I don't know what that's from. I missed that. But apparently there's an Arlong in the trash there. Oh, they rested. Did they rest something? I'm very confused at what happened there with the Arlong. We'll have to see what happens later. I think... Are they trying... Hang on. I got to go back, guys. We got to try to figure this out real quick. Where did the Arlong come from? Sorry, guys. Don't worry. We will fast forward. Okay. Swing for 7. Oh, that's how they rested the Zoro. Okay, it's all making sense now. Sorry about that, guys. Now we're back up to where we were. So now it is the Kuro's turn. I had to catch up. Sometimes when I start explaining myself and I let the game keep playing, I do lose track of where we're at, especially in 2x speed. So they swing for 8. We're going to have to take that. They lock down our Zoro again. They're going to swing for 6 at life. I think we need a 2k counter out of this. What did we do there? Hang on. I'm sorry. I did miss it. Did we take it? Okay. We still don't have any 2k counters in hand. Oh, my goodness, guys. Hey, there's one. We got one. Okay, so it's time to block her up here, I think. I think it's time to start blocking up here. Yeah. So they do block her up. We're going to use the... So that was a massive interaction there. Pause, guys. I have to fully explain this for new players and players who don't know OP-09 yet. Even some of the old school players might not know these new cards. So Frankie has the same wording where you can return up to, 1 Dawn or more to your Dawn deck, and then, that's going to trigger our leader's effect. So we're going to return 2 Dawn, and that's going to allow us to trash a card and draw 2 cards, right? Now, we're going to get to, bring the Dawn straight back with Luffy. So this is like a 3-cost 5k blocker that gets to draw 2, trash 1, okay? Very, very powerful effect. Now, it looks like we might have done things out of order. It looks like they're mousing over the Captain Kidd, and they might have wanted to use that first. Or are they looking for a card to trash with the effect? I'm not exactly sure. What we're about to find out. Okay. And we are on 2x speed, guys. Yep. Okay, it looks like we're gonna... So one thing I will say is if we had done that first, let's go back just a little bit, guys. I do want to, fully analyze this play. So we have a 9 Dawn turn here. So if we had played out the Eustace Kidd first, and then did the interaction we just said with Frankie where we return 2 Dawn, we'll return, the 2 Dawn that we lost from doing the Frankie effect and drawing 2 trashing 1. And we would have gained an additional Dawn from the Eustace Kidd effect and gone right back up to 10 with, it looks like, I think we'd have 1... with 2 Dawn active at the end of the turn. But that's okay. We chose to do it in this way. Let's get back to where we were, playing out the Eustace Kidd. And we still have 1 Dawn active as well, so that's good. It's just we probably want to keep that Dawn active. Okay, they tapped down our blocker with that event, guys. That's a event from, I think, ST12 from the starter deck with Zoro and Sanji. I'm very surprised they did not keep that carrot alive. I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm very, very surprised that they did not keep that that carrot alive. They must not have any counter power in their hand. One more thing I will say, too, is, okay, sequencing is a big deal, so they're going to swing for 11 twice. Yeah, just go ahead and block out of this first one. One thing I do want to mention is we kind of did things out of order, and that's how they were able to tap down our blockers, or one of our blockers there. We should have swung with everything first, then played out the Eustace Kidd, then played out the Frankie, excuse me, then play out the Frankie, and we'd have 2 Dawn active. And then we could have done things a little bit differently. But it's not a big deal either way. So they're swinging for 11 here. I guess technically we could take this first one, because I think Kuro can only rest a 4 or less with his leader effect. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I don't think he can rest down a 5. Okay, we're going to get out of that by using the Gum Gum Giant, and then getting all the cards we needed to just barely get out of that. We had 1k left. Now he's going to swing 11 into 8. That card's gone. But now we can really... okay, so real quick, believe it or not, what I think would have been a really good... another good option here is just attack his board. Because one thing about Kuro is you have to rest 2 of your East Blue characters in order to get the second attack off resting down a character. We have 2 blockers and 1 life. So I guess what I'm trying to say is if we swing 5 into both of these Namis, we can then swing like 5 into face or something. It doesn't matter at that point. And then leave our 2 blockers up and play out Douglas Bullet to ensure a next turn, to deal with everything next turn. Or even Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria is another option, depending on what's in our trash. But this looks like it's going to, this might work out this way, but he was able to counter out of both, and now he still has the 2 characters on the board. Okay. Got to do some searching here, it looks like. Okay, I mean, because even if we're scared of like a Hody Jones, yeah, once we do some searches here and get some 2k counters and stuff, we can very easily make sure we get out of a Hody Jones here. Nice. Now we have all the counter power we need. Like, I guess that's what I was trying to say, is we could have just gotten rid of these two characters on the board and sat, you know, just chilled out till next turn behind 3 blockers and all this counter power. But hey, it looks like we're doing just fine. I would like for you to swing into that character. Very good. I think you should have cleared both characters. Get these characters off the board. We don't want him to have any extra characters on the board. Let's see what Kuro does here. I'm very curious here. Swing for 9. He has 6 Dawn active, so he's probably going to play out a Django, if I had to guess. Krieg. Wow. Okay, plays out a Krieg, trashes the out of the bag card to KO those characters. Swing for 5. Swing for. Okay. Interesting. Swing for that. And okay, we're going to play out the 10 cost. I was like, man, what is going on here? I think, because I will say this, pause. I do think we had lethal on board, but hey, this for sure gives us lethal now, right? Or I think so. Hopefully this should give us lethal as well. Because I think if we had gone something like, you know, 3 7s and a 9 or 2, I can't remember exactly. What could we have done? Let me see. Yeah, we could have gone 2 7s, 2 9s, I think, roughly 2 4 7. No, it'd have been 2 7s, an 8, and a 9. I think that would have been lethal. I'm pretty sure that would have been lethal. But maybe not. This way, you know, should get us there as well. Okay, so we play out the 10 cost. We swing for 6. We use the leader effect. There is an interaction. They're going to go ahead and just quit out, which is interesting. Hang on. Because we get an extra turn, obviously. Very nice. That was a good game. But again, going for the board against Kuro there, I think would have probably been the right call. And when we have that many blockers on the board, man, it's almost like that's the one downside to playing 10 cost Luffy when you're playing a deck that goes wide like this. Like in red purple Luffy, you're not going wide. You might drop like 1 character, right? You might drop like 1 or 2 big characters, like a 7 cost, then a 9 cost, or something along those lines. So it's like, okay, I'm going to smash in with these. Then I play out the 10 cost Luffy and get an extra turn. And I'm fine. Yeah, I'm kind of back to where I started off. It's not really the worst problem, you know, in the world. And we get all this extra momentum and attack damage in, or however you want to say it. But when we were fully wide, like look how we did. I mean, we did just lose our guys, our 2 Zoros. But look at this. We still had all these blockers on the board. However, I will say that Krieg is a little bit scary. And I think the way that another way you could have gone about this was play out the Sanji, rest the Krieg, load everything up, or well, swing 7 into the Krieg first with the Sanji, and then load all the rest of the Dawn on Monkey D. Luffy, and it would have been 9 into the Krieg. And then we still have 3 blockers. You know what I mean? So there was a way to be a little more defensive and still win this game, I think. But hey, what you did worked, and that's awesome. This was a really good one for learning some stuff, especially about sequencing. We did have one like kind of crucial potentially game-losing mistake right here on this turn right here. We should have swung first. I would have gone the 8 into here, you know, 8 into the carrot. He would have used his Dawn to rest down our Zoro, and then we could swing from there potentially. Or actually, after that, we probably wouldn't once his Dawn was rested. Then we could have played out the Eustace Kid, and then the Frankie, get some active Dawn, swing more into the carrot, and gone about things that way. Either way, really good stuff. That was a fun one. That was a fun one to watch. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. We'll get set up for the shifting over to Kalgara. All right, move this down to here. Move this over, and let me get up the proper screen. Okay, here we go. So we've got our first round of results in. Let me go back real quick. So if you go over to Egman's website, I will have that linked in the comment section below, guys. But it's basically just egmanevents.com, Eggman Events. He spells it with only 1 G. Like egg is normally spelled with 2 G's, but his is only spelled with 1. So it's egmanevents.com. And then if you go there, you'll find One Piece. And then you go to, let me go back one more slide so you guys can see. This is kind of how it will look, right? If you go to eggmanevents.com, you can just go to One Piece, which is right here. Well, just go to 2 Legends. Let's just make it simple. Go to 2 Legends. Here's the first tournament we have from OP-08. Because remember, guys, even though we just had Nationals, U.S. Nationals this past weekend, that was not OP-08, even though OP-08 was released. And even though it was post-bans, you know, you have to give people like a week or 2 for the major events for them to switch over to the OP-08, whatever the new format is. So this TAC Games Auckland Regional was the first one of OP-08. This is the first tournament. First of all, check out who won, guys. Boa Hancock versus Nami in the finals, okay? And this was a 225-player event, 226-player event, guys. That's not bad at all for Boa to be winning something like that. And I guess if you look at the other rankings here, it kind of makes sense a little bit, right, guys? Oh, look, Luffy, and these are all ST13 or 14, like some version of like a Luffy that is black in the color pool. Look at all of these Luffys, guys. So, and then Rob Lucci as well. So it kind of makes sense for Bo to do well, but at the same time, no doubt, you know, a great pilot. You know, congratulations to this guy. There is one very interesting leader we're going to look at in here, though, and it is Kalgara. I already have it up over here. But this is the deck list that got, what was it, top 8. This guy, Max Kosh, he got top 8. Let me move my head a little bit. Hang on one second, guys. There we go. He got top 8 at this 226-player tournament, okay? I believe it was an 8-round tournament. So check this list out, guys. I'm going to read through it real quick. Make sure you know what the leader does. Pause and read this if you do not know what the leader does, okay? I'm sure most people do at this point, but, and I'll go ahead and read through it. I might as well, since we're doing a Kalgara video. The effect is Dawn ×1 when attacking, so you're going to attach 1 Dawn and attack, and check this out. Play up to 1 Shandian Warrior type character card from your hand with a cost equal to or less than the number of Dawn cards on your field. If you do, add 1 card from the top of your life to your hand. So you do lose a life in the process, but it kind of pays for itself, right? Like, because you're ramping forward a character for 1 Dawn and swinging for 6 at the same time. You know, and yellow, we're about to look at when we get to this card right here. Let me see. Oh, interesting. Are they? Oh, no, here it is. I was going to say, there's no way they're not playing Nolan. But check this out, guys. There are ways within this deck. There's only one way, you know, currently. There is a way within this deck to gain life back with this card, Nolan. So very cool stuff there. It does require some setup. You have to have Kalgara on the board, but we'll kind of talk about that and look at it as we get into today's games. So I'm going to run through the list real quick and we'll talk about it. First up, we have 4 Shura, 2 Beige. Let me see if I do something real quick. Well, let me just go through. If I hit, nice. Okay, very nice. So it's running 4 Shura, 2 Beige. Pause and read these if you don't know what they do, guys. 4 of Holly, 3 Ohm. Then I can't see for this next line here. Okay, 4, 4, and 4. So 4 straight across the board here for Wiper, Satori, the other Wiper. This is the non-2K counter Wiper, and Noland. Or Norland, I don't know. It says Norland here. It says Noland here. Some of these, some of the translations are hard to get correctly, guys. Okay, then we have 1, 4, 4. We have 1, 4, 4, and 4 here. 1 S-Snake, okay. 4 Portgosti Ace, 4 Kalgara. This is the big character to cheat out, by the way. We'll talk about that in a second. 4 Blaze Slice, or Flame Split. And then we have 4 of each of these ones at the bottom. The Earth Won't Lose, and Upper Yard, okay? So pretty straightforward list. Most stuff in here is a 4 of, okay? They're running 3 Ohms and 1 S-Snake. I would almost rather just have the 4 Ohms. That's just me. I actually really like the card Ohm, and I like searching for the Hollies, or the Hollies, however you want to say it. And, or however it's actually supposed to be pronounced. I have no idea. But having this Ohm Holy package here, I'm a big fan. I really do like that. I think S-Snake is very strong. I think this is a very good card, and it has decent tech. You know, it's a decent tech choice, but at the same time, it's not like a Shandian Warrior, right? It's just an Egghead Seraphim. It doesn't have any searchability with our Shura card, which can only search up Sky Island characters. So it doesn't have a lot of synergy there. However, maybe this was just one of the cards the deck builder used to set their deck apart from the others. Maybe it's their favorite card or something. Who knows? Now, I do see Ace pop up in a bunch of different decks for Kalgara. You're taking your life pretty aggressively, or you can if you have to. If you have to take your life aggressively, you very easily can with your leader effect. And then as you get down to 2 life, well, now you have a 5-cost 7K Rusher. This is just a great card. Now, the big combo to go for in the deck list, by the way, like I just want to mention this real quick before I forget, is you want to get down Kalgara. Kalgara is a 6-cost, 8,000 power character, 1K counter. He has Jaya, Sky Island, and Shandoran or Shandian Warriors. So in other words, you can search this up with something like Shura, right? Because he has Sky Island. And he is a Shandian Warrior, so you can cheat him out with the leader's effect. All right, that is the big major wombo combo when you have 6 or more Dawn. You do have to have 6 Dawn in order to do this per the leader's effect, right? because you can cheat something out that costs, you know, let me read it one more time. Card from your hand with a cost equal to or less than the number of Dawn cards on your field. Okay, now this is the biggest character we can cheat out currently. Who knows, in the future maybe they'll print out a 7 or 8 cost Shandian Warrior. There's no way of knowing. We don't know yet, right? But currently this is the biggest character you can push out, and there's a reason to push this out, by the way. It's not just a good vanilla card to cheat out with your leader effect. It is that, but it's more than just that. Read Mont Blanc Nolan very carefully here. The effect is on play if your leader has the Shandian Warrior type and you have a Kalgara character. Remember the Kalgara we just looked at. Add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. So there is like a perfect 6 Dawn turn where you go, okay, I'm going to swing for 6 with the leader, right? So I have 6 Dawn. Attach 1 to the leader, swing for 6, cheat out the Kalgara from my hand. The 6 costs 8k. Then on the follow-up, I'm going to play out my 5 cost Noland to gain the life back that I lost from using the Kalgara effect. You just developed a 6 cost 8k and a 5 cost 6k in the process. So that is actually, that's what I feel like makes this deck so potentially like, let me say it like this. This deck, when it high rolls, is very, very hard to deal with. When I say high roll, I mean, what if you get the perfect pull? Let me explain what that looks like. The perfect pull looks like this. Going second, turn 1 Shura. Turn 2, Ohm into Holy, right? Turn 3, cheat out Kalgara and also play out the Noland. You've got, at that point, you've got a 3 cost 5k, a 4 cost 5k, who will probably be a 4 cost 6k eventually. And then you have a 5 cost 6k and a 6 cost 8k. And that is by turn 3, and you're putting on pressure the entire time. Then, what, you know, there's also the potential, what if you get a Satori from life, okay? This is a Sky Island character, guys. We can very easily snag this, you know, in the deck with Shura. It's a 2k counter, and it's a trigger. This card, I think, is excellent. But yeah, other than that, I think, like I said, guys, the only difference, I think, in my list in this one is I don't know if I'm running the 4 flame splits. We'll check, you know, we'll check at the end of the video. But for S-Snake, I'm just running the 4 ohms, and I think this deck list is, like, pretty much good to go. I don't know if I'm running the beige. I could be wrong. I'm not sure if I'm running this. And actually, you know what's very interesting? Okay, no, the Wiper's a 2k counter. I was going to say, do they only have 6 2k counters? I do that every time, don't I? I always miss one of them. But they're running 10 2k counters, and they're also running this card. This is a great 1 cost 3k, and look at that trigger, guys. Draw 2, trash 1. We'll take it every single time. We'll take that trigger every single time. It's very solid. I'm very sad that they locked this to Shandian Warriors for the counter. If your leader has the Shandian Warrior type, up to 1 of your leader character cards gains plus 3,000 power during this turn, then play up to 1 upper yard from your hand. Oh man, that trigger would have been wild. And then if it were just a blanket 1 cost 3k with that trigger, whew, man, that would have been so good. It is so good, but it would have been good in like everything at that point. Pause and read this if you don't know what this does, guys. 1 cost main or counter, so you can use this defensively or offensively. It gives up to 1 of your leader or characters plus 1,000 power during the turn. Then, if your opponent has 2 or less life cards, you can rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. And the same thing for the trigger, rest of 4 or less. Okay? All right. So that's it. That's the whole list. This is the top 8 list from Auckland, from the regional. But now we're going to check out 5 games on the sim of me playing this leader. Okay, let me get set up real quick, guys. Give me just a second. There we go. I was going to say, where is it? And let me also bring up my recordings before I forget there. Yeah, I was going to say I only have the 1 up, and we've got 5 to go through today. Okay, this is versus ST14 Luffy. Okay, we've got the right one. I just want to make sure we're on the right track here to do this in the right order that I have it prepared. Okay, here we go, guys. First game, we've got versus BLaffy. I call this. I know there's 2 Black Luffy starter deck leaders. I call this one BLaffy. This is ST14 3D2Y Black Luffy. But then there's also one from a while back that's just not seeing as much play. Now, let's go ahead and hop into this game. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x. And here we go, guys. We're off to the races. Okay, so I go ahead and ship that last hand back. I didn't even see what it was. But we got a pretty decent start there, even though we are going first. Play out upper yard and pass. One thing I will say, too, I actually have to say this real quick, is going first is not horrible. for Kalgara, but it's just not great either, because you still can go like turn 1 upper yard like I just did into turn 2 holy if you don't have Ohm in hand, or you can play out the Shura late. You know, there are some other options. There are definitely some other options there. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Honestly, I think I should play out the Shura and fix my hand a little bit. Yeah, so there's a Kalgara. Oh, I'm running Gidatsu in my list, guys. I am running Gidatsu. So he sees that. I just snagged a Gidatsu. I'm going to swing for 6. I'm not going to use the effect. He'll probably 2K counter out. After seeing Gidatsu, though, guys, it would have been much smarter for him to not not counter out and to actually take that hit. So he hits me there. I take it, and it's like, okay, I'm going to swing for 5. Let's see if he wants to keep countering. And then we're going to hit him with a Gidatsu, because he has 5 life. Even if he takes this, I can still hit the Kuzan, no problem. Okay, and honestly, I think he should have just taken the hit there. Because now, if I have another Gidatsu, I could pop the Kuzan still, because even though he's 5 cost, because he has 5 life. All right, we're going to play out the Satori here. And now, let's see what I choose to do. I've got a few options. I think I'm just going to go a little bit aggressive here. I'm going to swing 7. I messed up the order there. I should have swung 5 first, but I couldn't really make up my mind. Try to be, you know, very decisive when you make these decisions, guys. So I play out the Kalgara. I get a wiper from my life from the leader's effect. Play out the Nolan to get my life straight back. And look at my board, guys. I mean, like, let's just be honest. Like, look at this board. He needs to KO something on my board or he is in a lot of trouble. Yeah, he needs to use effects like that. But wait, what is he going to pop with Jack? Okay, okay. I'm going to 2K counter out of that for sure. He's going to swing 5 into 5, giving -4 to my Kalgara, and now I can pop my Kalgara with the Jack. I was going to say, wait a minute, how is he going to pop into my relevant characters? But I forgot about the Kuzan swing. Okay, my opponent only has 5 cards left in hand, because they did counter out pretty aggressively earlier. So I'm going to swing 7 into 5 into this Kuzan. That thing's gone. And I think in this situation, I really want to get this card off the board. I want this Jack to leave, right? I don't want this Jack in play anymore. So I go ahead and play out an upper yard to see what kind of stuff I have coming. Okay, we snag a defensive event here. And right here, I think, honestly, like I think I should just get this Jack off the board. I don't remember what I do. Yeah, 12 into 8. We'll play out the wiper here, which is going to let me look at the top 4 for an upper yard. And then play out an upper yard, but I didn't get one. So 12 into 8, he'd have to go 2K, 2K, 1K, and we've already seen 2K counters, and it's only turn 5. So if he was able to counter out of this, it would have been pretty wild. However, look what that does. He was at 6,000 power on his leader, right? Because he has a character that costs 8 or more in play. Well, I've got bad news for him. If this character gets KO'd, he goes down to a 5. And then I can swing for 5 and then 6. It goes away. Well, I was like, wait a minute. When I was playing, I forgot at the time. I'm like, oh, he's a 6,000 power leader. But it's like, wait, nope. He actually had to counter out of that 5K attack, and he took the 6K. Plays out brand new, grabs an Ice Age with the brand new. And let's see what he's got here. I still have a full board, right? Like, see, that's the issue. Like, this guy needs some type of way to remove multiple characters at once. And there's no way he's going to be able to get one of my characters just by swinging into it, because I have so much counter power in hand. I have a 0 cost 3K and a 1K if I need it. Okay, 0 cost 3K every single time. I don't need the 200 million volts of Mario. Don't need that. And he just gives up. And I can't say I blame him in that situation, because now it's, okay, first of all, he was pretty limited on counter power. But look what I'm going to do, guys. I'm actually just going to swing all 7s instead on 3 events. Like, that's how that turn was going to go. It was going to go swing for, let me see. I don't think we worry about the Shura attack. Like, I won't even swing with the Shura. Just swing 7, 7, 7, 7, and that would be 1, 2, 4, 6. That would only be 6 Dawn to swing for 7 4 times, and I haven't swung with my leader yet. So then I would swing 7 more with the leader, or whatever it ends up being, where I have exactly 3 Dawn left for those 3 events. And then my whole board's going to be safe. There's no way he could deal with it. He'd have to KO it. He wouldn't be able to KO anything like with actual in battle. So he was in a very, very desperate situation there. Okay, next game. We got a game versus Yamato. Green-yellow Yamato. Okay, volume's off. Speed is on 2x, and we are good to go, guys. Yamato's kind of a tricky matchup for Kalgara, I feel like, because typically speaking, you don't want to take a ton of life, you know, against Yamato, because she's hitting for double attack, right? She's speeding up the game. So they go ahead and play out the Momonosuke. I'm not going to let that thing stick around and let them build value the whole game. So we're going to play out the Shura, and now I have 1 Dawn active for my 1 cost 8K event, right? Or my 1 cost 3K event to get me to 8K. But let's see what my opponent does. Let's see what they do here. It's a 4 Dawn turn for them, and if I remember correctly, nice. I'm going to 1 cost 3k to get out of this so easily. The double attack banish from the Onami effect. If I remember correctly, I chose to go first this game, even though I normally would want to go second. I just wanted to take first away from Yamato. And sometimes that's your best call is you know, if you have a deck that goes first or second very, you know, efficiently, just take whatever your opponent wants. You know, that's kind of the way to go. So they're going to go ahead and play out the Momonosuke. They're going to do a top 5 search with it. They're going to play out a Kikinojo, and their turn. And then my turn. They're going to swing for 5, I'm sure. I'm going to counter out of a 5k. No reason not to counter out of a 5k. All right. Just waiting for them to pass the turn. It looks like they might use their leader. Oh, they can't use the leader effect because I'm at 5 life. Okay. Now, let's see what happens here. 2 into 0. No reason to protect that. I'm trying to see how I want to do this. I really want to remove as many characters from the board as possible. That's why I had my mouse over the Gadatsu. But at the same time, I have like the perfect setup to do my Nolan plus Kalgara play. So honestly, I think I should do that. I don't remember what I do, but that's the play I think I should do. Okay, I've got 6 Dawn. Let's see what he gets. He got a Noah's Ark. Okay, that's why sequencing is so important. So I'm going to swing for... Yeah, okay, so I end up swinging there and cheating out the Kalgara. So I choose to do a tempo play there. Instead of gaining the life, I'd rather get rid of his character, still cheat out the Kalgara. If I need to, I can gain a life next turn when he thinks it's okay for his Kikinojo to like get KO'd if I go down to 3 life. Okay, let's see what he does here. 7 into 5. I'm actually fine with that, right? So I think he should have attacked into my life there, to be honest. But hey, okay, now he's going to push the Kikinojo back to life. That was a pretty good play. Well, sort of, that was a good play. If I take this hit, then it would have been, but I'm like, okay, I'm just not going to take the hit. So now I can swing at life with all these cards, and if they take it, the Kikinojo does not come into play. For those who are not aware, Kikinojo can only come and pause it right there if you need to. She can only use the trigger to come into play if your opponent has 3 or less life. So that actually really hurts them in this situation where I don't have 3 or less life. Okay, they counter out to save the Momonosuke there, but guys, I'm actually more focused on getting this character back to their hand and not on the board. I don't care about attacking into the Momonosuke here. I'm going to gain a life with Nolan. I have 1 Dawn active. I can save any character pretty much. I have a 2k in hand and a 1 cost 3k. I'm in a very good position this game. This is the kind of position where, like, if you're at this point in the game, it's like, okay, you're going to have to do something crazy here. They play out the Hody Jones. I don't know if they remembered or not, but that means they lose their last life, right? Hody Jones will take your life away unless you're playing the green 5 cost, or the green 5 life mono-colored leader, Hody Jones, who can negate it with their effect. I take this. We get a beige. That feels bad, but it doesn't matter. Because they lost that last life, there was no way to get out of this. They go ahead and tap out. Whoops. Hang on. Let's go to the very end. Goodness gracious. Okay, so after this, they go ahead and tap out. Right. Let's look at what they had in their hand. I'll tell you guys what I think they should have done. Just my personal opinion. Okay. Okay. That is rough. Look. So their hand, guys, that is... It's just not good, right? So I think they have a little too many bricks in their deck. I don't know. They could have gotten a bad hand. I've gotten a bad hand too in a deck that has like very little bricks. It does happen because they have 3 Kikinojos in their hand, but they've got 2 Noah's Ark in the deck. Okay, let me say something real quick. If I were to even run Noah's Ark in my list, I don't think I'd run more than 1. I would have it as like a special tech card. If it comes up, it comes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Maybe run up to 2, and then you could Hiyori to put it into your life. Maybe there's some kind of tricks like that you could do for sure. But their hand is absolutely bricked, and I don't know what they were supposed to do. Because if they had just dropped down a Zoro this turn to try to prepare for next turn, okay, you just gave me the entire turn to just bash everything in the face, and you probably won't survive with 1 life anyway. Especially with 1k counter in hand. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. But, hey, it happens. It is what it is. The really sad part is look at what they got from the top of their life when they played out the Hody Jones. Watch this, guys. When they lose that last life, it's that 200 million volts of Maru. You ready? Okay, so they play out the Hody Jones. Wait, no. Or was it Nekomamushi? All right, here we go. Okay. Oh, they use the I'm sorry. It doesn't trash the life card, guys. When you play out the Hody, it doesn't trash the life card. But In this case, you do lose the life card. It goes to your hand. And then they're going to play a 200 million volts of Maru to buff their Yamato. That's what happened there. Okay, good game. So that's how that ended up happening. I'll fast forward I'll hit play real quick so you guys can see. They did the 200 million volts of Maru. I don't have any blockers, so that didn't matter anyway. Okay, next game we got a game versus Purple Black King. Okay. I could see a lot of people at locals running Purple Black King, guys. And I'm not saying it's the best list. By the way, look how terrible this pool is, guys. I got an absolutely terrible pool, so I had to ship that back. But I could see Purple Black King being a leader a lot of people run at locals. I think it's a really cool leader. They're going to swing in for 5. I'm going to take that aggressively, never punished. We get the, okay, that one I should probably counter out of, but I take it anyway, I guess. Again, I don't know if I'm trying to play into my aces or what, like my 5 cost 7k ace here, but I don't think I should be taking those that aggressively. Play out the Ohm. I already had the Holy in hand. So, did I even find another one, or did I get that from life? I can't remember. Okay, my board is already strong. They swing 5 into 5. I counter out. This is already a horrible position for my opponent. Do y'all notice that, guys? I'm going to swing for 5 first, and let's see if he's going to turn that Eustace Kid sideways. He's not falling for the bait. It's like, okay, well, here we go. Pretty much the best play in the deck. I'm going to play Kalgara out with cheating it out with the leader effect, swinging for 6, which was a huge play because it got past the blocker, right? If I tried to swing 5 with the blocker there, he could have just easily, if I had tried to swing 5 with my leader, he could have easily just blocked it with a 6k blocker, saved a card from hand, but instead I swung for 6. He had to give me a 2k counter. I cheated out a 6 cost 8k, then I played out the 5 cost 6k. This game, I basically had the perfect pull I was talking about when we were going over the deck. I literally got a Satori from life. I started off with, did I start off with a Shura? Or did I not get the Shura out on time? Let me see something, guys. I do want to go back just to see, because this game's pretty much already over. Okay. Oh, right here. Okay. Yeah, so I did go Shura and everything, guys. Let me hit play. How did they attack my Shura there? Oh, because next turn I attacked into the Queen. I see. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so swing into the Queen. He's going to let that go. 5 at face. I play out the Ohm, and then he's going to swing 5 into my Shura. So I literally got the perfect pull this game, guys. I actually got the perfect pull where it was Shura, take the first hit, where I get to play out my Satori for free, Ohm into Holy, into Kalgara plus Noland. If you high roll like that with this deck, that's what's happening right here. That's why I kept it going. And I'm just swinging 5s across the board. If you high roll with this deck like that and get that kind of sequencing, it's going to be hard for anyone to stop you. And, you know, I know it all depends on the deck builder. It all depends on the player and stuff like that and the meta. But I know some people like to play decks that have this potential to high roll like this. Because even if it doesn't, it's still a solid deck. But if you high roll, like I said, it's almost an auto win. I'm not saying it's unbeatable, but it feels that way sometimes. Okay, you didn't remove any characters, and I've got some counter power in hand for you. We're going to use that, the 0 cost 3k plus a 1k. And now, guys, it's just going to be 7s all day. There's no reason to play anything from my hand. That's all just counter power. He does get a Who's Who. That's why you swing proper sequencing. He should have kept that Who's Who, because then he could have used it as a 2k counter. Swinging in for 6s here. 6s, 7s, and 8s is all that's left for this poor guy. Okay, 7, 7. If he counters out with the blocker here, it's just over. And I did go ahead and cheat out. I was going to cheat out a Wiper there to, you know, just to fill the board more, but I probably should have just sat on it, to be honest. GG. That was a fun one. Like I said, I think Purple Black King is a good leader, but what are they supposed to do against that pull right there? You know what I mean? That's just, that feels terrible. What is any deck supposed to do against that pull right there, to be honest, guys? Y'all tell me in the comment section below what y'all think. Okay, we got a hipster here. Okay, we got a blue-black Sakazuki player. Now, I'm curious to see which kind of, I don't remember what they were playing. I think this is just a Navy version. And they swing for 8 to start. I'm like, sure, I'll absolutely take it. But I'm very curious to see what they're running in this deck, because I was messing around with a version of the deck that was running the ulti plus page 1 combo, and I thought it was very good, actually. I thought it was pretty good. Hound Blaze. Y'all remember that card? Hound Blaze. He held Mepos, gets rid of my Ohm. Seems good. I'm down to 3 life. Uh-oh, what are we going to do? But I do have 6 Dawn this turn. I don't have the Nolan follow-up. Feels bad. We'll swing in for 5. We'll swing in for 6. We'll cheat out the Kalgara, drawing my top life card. It was a Shura. We're going to play out the Wiper, throwing back the stage. Don't get anything from it. I think I whiffed it. And they're going to swing 5. Okay, you're not getting that card like that, buddy. That's not happening. Okay, but hey, Gravity Blade Raging Tiger is a Navy card, guys. That is Navy searchable, and they did not get a brand new. So let's be fair. Let's try to be fair to the Sakazuki player here. He did not get a brand new on curve. We're gonna play out the Shura here. I just go ahead and grab the Ohm. Don't know if that was the right decision or not. I think I was just gonna try to get greedy with it. Swing 5. Goodness gracious, guys. We're gonna cheat out the Wiper here. No effects. Just a 5-cost 7K coming your way. Play out the Ohm. He's a 4-cost 6K. What are you supposed to do? Okay, now look at his hand, guys. That is outrageous, okay? Now, I'm not saying he would have lost next turn. He might not have. He might have. He might not have. We'll have to see. We have no way of knowing. But my board is a 5-cost 7K, a 4-cost 6K, a 3-cost 5K, and I did leave one Dawn active where I can give something +3 for the turn. I have a... I have 4 2K counters in hand. So whatever he could not remove this turn via event removal, like actual, effect-based KO or removal, it was going to stick. There was no way. He wasn't going to get my dog there. Like, he wasn't going to be able to get the dog. But okay, that was a fun one. All right, we got one more game. All right. We got a game versus Red Yellow Sabo. Now, I will say this. Let me put on 2x speed. I will say this. Kalgara is a very tough matchup for Red Yellow Sabo. It is very winnable. Red Yellow Sabo can definitely beat Kalgara. It's probably very close to like 50-50, but at the same time, I feel like Kalgara is slightly favored. Maybe it's like 55-45 in the favor of Kalgara. So I'm going to cheat out I'm going to play out the Wiper there. I did some kind of interaction. I missed it. Sorry, guys. Pause or rewind it and watch it again if you want to know exactly what happened there. He plays out the Gidatsu. I even took life aggressively to play around Gidatsu, but it didn't matter. Now we're past the Gidatsu, so now I think it's time to start cheating out some of these big boys. So I swing for 6 here, cheating out the Kalgara. It gives me a Holy. It would have been really nice if I top decked from my life a Nolan there. But let me say this real quick, finish my thought from earlier. Kalgara is very much, it is a tough matchup, guys. It is a very tough matchup for anyone. Okay, I leave 2 Dawn active there, but I don't actually have a, I'm just bluffing the event. Okay, let's see what he does. He's going to swing for 7. I do have a lot of counter power in hand, but I go ahead and take that. And now let's see what he does here. And I have less life than my opponent, so he can't use Cracker to double attack me anyway. Okay, he brings back the Gidatsu to life, and now he's going to swing for 8. I think he should have did that the other order. He should have swung with Cracker first, just in case I got something from life, like a El Thor or something like that, Okay, but now we can just get rid of that card easy. Excuse me, on the cheap, pretty much. And that's why you should bring back your trigger characters to life as opposed to the Gidatsus. Because if he gets back Gidatsu here, what does that do? I have 1 life. You know what I mean? Unless it's removal from something like Nami. Like, Nami can remove anything 5 cost or less, no matter what. But here we are, guys. I'm pretty much hoping and praying for no triggers. I have 1 life left, but I do have quite a bit of counter power in hand, guys. I've got 2, 4, 6, 7 in hand and 1 life. So he's going all in here. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I've got 2, 4, 6. I've got all this. Hang on. Let me pause to make sure I was fine. I had -1 Ohm because I just got the Ohm for the last hit there. I had 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. So I could have gotten out of a 12K attack. I was completely fine taking that like that in order to get to this point here. Because now it's time to pretty much go all in, right? So we're going to counter out of this, obviously. Okay. He pushes that back to his life, which we knew he would do, right? We knew he would do that. So we do have to do things in a very specific order here. I should have exactly enough to go 7, 7, 7, 7 because of my ace in my hand, and then 9, 9. Okay, so we'll go for 9 here, and then I'm just going to load everything up on there. Okay, ended up not working out that way. So I swing for 6 here. Let's see if he had it. And then I play out the ace. Swing for it. And look at his hand real quick, guys. I think he might have blundered that. Sometimes you move cards around in your hand, but if he could have gotten out of that, like, okay, I've got a few things to say. We're going to go back and watch some stuff here. He had a Frankie, and he saw no more bodies on my field, so I think he did not use the Frankie there when he should have. He absolutely should have, but at the same time, let me show you guys what I did wrong, because I don't think I should have swung for 9. I think I should have just done my strategy. All 7s and an 8. Okay, so back to the beginning of this turn here. Let's see how this happens. Okay. So swing for 7, it goes through. He gets the Cracker, Trash, and Kikinojo. He only has 3 cards in hand. Okay, now we're going to swing for 7 again. It goes through. Now, swing for 9. All right. This is the part I don't agree with. I think it would have been better to swing 7, 7, 9. And we're going to do the math right here, guys. We're going to do the math right here. So he gets out with a 2, 2, 2. So that was 3 2s. You see what I'm saying? That took 3 2s to get out of. So if I had swung for 7 with my leader right here, instead of adding the 1 to Kalgara, he has to give me 2 2K counters, right? Then... let's see, and we know the last card was a Kid and Killer, right? We know the last card in his hand is Kid and Killer. So swinging for 7 here, he has to give me 2 2K counters, right? All right. Now the only thing left in his hand is going to be a 2K, and the Kid and Killer, right? I'm kind of confusing myself a little bit here, but I would be swinging for 7 and then 8. I don't know then. Maybe that was the right call. I'm trying to do the math in my head. I'll probably put it in the comment section, guys, if I take the time to do it. Either way, really good game. Hang on, we got to look at this real quick. Swing for 7, and he takes that. We got to break this down, guys. We got to break this down at some point. I will break it down in the comment section below to say if it could have worked or not, guys. Either way, like I said, I just think swinging for all the 7s would have been the better call. I just think that would have done the trick. Maybe not. Maybe it did take him to blunder, not counting out with the Frankie, or if he even got the Frankie. Who knows if... No, I think he was holding on to the Frankie. I think he just blundered not playing that out. But either way, good game to this guy. Red Yellow Sabo is very strong, guys. Check out my videos on that. I'm telling you guys, that leader is absolutely in the A tier at least, and I think he can compete against any deck in the format currently. Even Kalgara, even some of the harder matchups for him, like Enel's kind of hard for him, and same thing with Katakuri. The yellow stuff is a little bit difficult for him, you know, for Red Yellow Sabo. But yeah, anyway, back to this match here. This was one of those games. It brings me back to the Harry Potter quote. It's like, you guys remember in spoiler warning, guys, if you haven't seen Harry Potter, I don't know what era you're from, right? You know, but it is technically a spoiler here. It's in the Half-Blood Prince, and Harry's chasing, like, you know, Snape just did the unthinkable, guys, in the astronomy tower. I'm not going to say that part. And you know, Harry's chasing him down. He was your friend, you know. And or he trusted you, I think he said. And then, you know, he tries to hit him with a Sectum Sempra, and Snape turns around, counters it, and says, "You dare use my own spells against me, Potter?" I had that feeling in this game, right? Like, you dare use my leader against me? I'm just kidding. No, it was just meant to be fun. But, guys, I love seeing people play Red Yellow Sabo. I absolutely love it. I want to keep seeing that going on. You know, keep seeing more and more people represented at big tournaments. Now, back to reality here, right? That was fun story time with the VV theory. I'm a big Harry Potter fan, guys. For those who are not aware, that's where I got my name from. VV is just like a fancy way of making a W. Let me show you guys over here. Like, if you look over here at the very top, like this is a W, right? I turned that into a W. One of my friends gave me the idea. And my name is Wolfric. Okay, that's like, well, my real name is James, but my computer gaming alias is Wolfric. 1 million people use the name Wolfric as a gaming alias, or probably close to like thousands of people use Wolfric as their gaming alias. I got the name Wolfric from Harry Potter because Dumbledore's name is Albus Percival Wolfric Brian Dumbledore. He's got 5 names. That's his whole name. So I got the Wolfric from there, and I tried to make it fancy because I think he spells it like this or something, or something along, you know, some way like that. So I changed it. I even tried to change it to like, whoops, to something like this, and it still was not unique enough. And then eventually I settled on the 2 V's. And my buddy Tristan, big shout out to Tristan, gave me this idea. It was never the same after that. Okay. Crazy rants and story time all day today. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below about that stuff, you know, if y'all didn't already know that. Now, let's check out the list I was running. Excuse me. I was running the 2 Capone Gang Beiges. Sorry, guys. I got to clear my throat real quick. I was running the 2 Capone Gang Beiges. I was only running 2 aces, but I was running 2 200 million volts of Maru and 2 of You're the One Who Should Disappear. One card I'm just not in love with this deck is Wiper. The 5 cost 7k. Not the 2k counter is perfect because he's a 2k counter. Okay, the effect is a top 4 type of search effect. That's fine. Same thing with Wiper. It is a top 5 search if you have the stage, right? But at the same time, I don't know what it is. He's a great card to just, you know, push out with the leader. I'm not saying it's a bad card, but I pushed it down to 3, and I put up to 3 Gadatsus in the deck. But everything else is pretty much the same. Trying to think. Not a lot of differences from the list we looked at that was top 8, but there are some differences. I only run the 2 aces, and I do run... was he running... You're the one who should disappear. Let me see something real quick, guys. He was not running... Oh, he was running the flame splits. That was the major difference. And he was running the 1 S-Snake, but I kind of consider that being in the place of the 4th Ohm. I just run 4 ohms. I run 4 ohm and holies. Where's Ohm at? 4 ohms, 4 holies. He runs 4 flame splits, so there's your 200 million volts of Maru, and you're the one who should disappear difference. And then he runs 4 aces. I'm only running 2, and I'm only running 1 wiper, or 3 wipers, so that's 3 cards different, and the 3 cards are Gadatsu. You know what I mean? That's a 3-card difference, and I make it up with a Gadatsu. This card was pretty good, guys. It's searchable. It's a 1k counter. It's very rarely a dead card that I found. You know, even later in the game, it's still a 5-cost 6k body if you have to play it, or it's a 1k counter in hand. You know, I think it's fine. Maybe going down to 2 would be smarter. I don't know. But I did like the card. I think it came in pretty handy. And I found myself most times wanting to play something like this over the Wiper. But I get the Wiper because Wiper has the ability, if you... Number one, you can cheat him. He's a Shandian Warrior or Shandora Warrior, whatever the technical name is. He's one of the warriors that you can cheat out with a Leer effect. Like, that is massive. And it has big synergy with Upper Yard, right? So, good stuff there. Pause this if you don't know what it does and read that. All right, guys, I'm just rambling at this point. Appreciate you guys sticking around for this long, listen to this old man yap and ramble. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you to everybody who supports my channel, guys. If you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing to help me out, I really appreciate it, guys. The channel's been growing like crazy. Big shout out to the VV Pirates playmat supporters. Thank you to everybody on this list here who bought a playmat, supported me in that way. I hope you're enjoying the playmat. And then last but not least, of course, the patrons, the VV Pirates patron page. These are people who have literally just donated to try and help the cause, trying to make sure the channel succeeds and make sure I succeed. All right. All right, that's it, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe if you've not already. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them, do not hesitate to put them down in the comment section below. I try to get to those as fast as I can. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Until next time, guys. Peace.